Thugjitsu Master and Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid. That's the jam. That always gets me going.
Jam and a half right there. Thugjitsu Master and Squid show coming to you on a Monday afternoon here after a UFC fight card. Another COVID quarantine weekend in the books.
Man, hey, I ain't gonna lie. These fights have been like really good since they've come back. Almost the entirety of each card has been pretty epic, but like I think this one definitely tops them all, man. Especially the main event. That was a fight. That's the kind of fight when you're a kid and you want to grow, you want to be a fighter. Like if you're sitting there watching that, you're begging the fight gods to have a fight like that in your career.
It's an all-time classic fight between Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker.
Instantly. That's like
Hall of Fame fight right there. Great fight right there. It's with the no crowd, it makes for such a wild. It's kind of wild.
It's like you gotta dig deeper. A lot of people get some energy. They get some emotional energy from the crowd and whatnot. But with just your corners there, it's so much like being in the gym.
I like it because some people don't like some people can't take the boos, and some people with all the cheering could throw them off, and they can use all their energy. I like it. You can keep your rhythm. You don't get swayed. Sometimes I think it's better for the judges too, because sometimes a punch doesn't really land, but the crowd just makes it seem like it's a bigger shot, or a grazing shot that the crowd thinks is like a huge shot. I like that these. You can hear everything, you can see everything, you can feel everything. I think they just keep the crowd, keep the fans out, because there's no more woo, woo. There's no random person doing the woo chant anymore.
That before, but like another thing too that kind of brought me into the cage. A couple of these fights is because it's so quiet and the audio inside of what's happening in the cage is so, you can feel it, you can hear it. When guys are breathing heavy, that reminds me of that feeling, man. Being in the cage, being in a confrontation, in a fight, and trying to work out of something, but you can hear, you hear yourself, to hear them doing that. It kind of, man, that really, one moment I heard that really took me back. Like I felt like I had a flashback of being in there in that moment, man. That this is as close as fighters will get to like fighting in pride, that having that energy, that feeling. But
I like that.
This environment, I really like it. I would watch every fight like this. Every fight, I feel like this should be the standard now. Like no crowd.
If you look at how much money the UFC make, the crowd really isn't the big thing that they're making the money off of, because they own this facility that they're in right now, so they're not paying for staff, security, parking, insurance, advertise, everything that comes with renting a venue and putting people in the seats and advertising for those tickets and putting people in the booth to sell the tickets and sending tickets to fighters to sell their own ticket. It's a cascading effect of like how much, like when the UFC has a gate of, I don't know, let's see,
a million.
Yeah, let's say they make let's go to UFC 202 did a gate of $7 million.
Oh shit.
How much? Well, that was it was Nate Diaz Connor, I believe. But like how how much of that money is spent before they even make that on just the venue of selling tickets?
The net profits from that goes into Dana's gambling.
Yeah, it's yeah, it goes right in. That's what he really
Right on the craps table.
So I think the real money comes from the pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
If your UFC selling these for $60 a pop, you have, I don't know, let's say they sell 500,000 of them. You're talking about a lot of money right there. You're talking about $30 million right there if they sell the pay-per-view properly. So
yeah,
I like this path. It's good for the fighters. Dana says they're losing money. I don't really think they're losing that much money fighting out of this UFC Vegas center or whatever.
You know where they're probably losing money is some money on ticket sales and whatnot, but on merchandising and
Yeah.
People like that impulse buy.
Yep.
Being in the arena, seeing Poirier and Hooker fight like that. Like if that was in T-Mobile Arena and they had Poirier and Hooker, what do you call it? The jerseys.
Yep.
Like a couple people grab a couple on the way out.
Yeah, are they? I wonder. Are they? I don't know. The UFC still making. Are they making merch for these events? Are they?
Right?
Is merch even available for these events that you can't even go to?
Yeah, sit at home in your Poirier.
Yeah, support in your
tracksuit.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing maybe the fighters are missing out on. Oh, they got Fight Island shirts. I could maybe rock a Fight Island shirt. That's kind of funny. They have UFC.
I could have hooked them up with a Fight Island.
Oh, they did make a Usman. There's a Usman Burns shirt. I see Fight Island shirt.
You're gonna wear those shirts at home.
I don't see no Poirier Hooker shirts yet. I just see a Fight Island trucker hat.
Are there going to be fans in attendance on Fight Island? I don't know. I don't know the stats on that. Like, do you know what the haps is?
I assume since they're doing this thing in like Abu Dhabi, I think they sell 12 seats for $1 million a pop. Those rich oil men out there just call it a day. Let's call it a day. To sell 16 seats,
make their money,
and you're good right there. $500,000 a pop or something like that. Some rich dude that just wants to be at the private Fight Island. There's an angle there. There's definitely an angle there.
$1 million to be in the corner. Mike Perry. That's the thing right there. Mike Perry had nobody in his corner. He had his girlfriend in his corner, and I feel like Pete Spratt.
He don't want to make those splits, those payment splits.
Right.
He just wants to get that money with his girl.
Josh Thompson made a comment on his podcast. He was saying that, charge somebody, but they make someone pay a fee to be in the corner. Pete Spratt did that back in the day. I feel like he got, I don't want to talk about his money, but he had a guy pay to be in the corner,
Sell it to a fan?
Yeah, sell it to a fan. That's legit. I mean, shoot. Every fighter really should do that. The UFC provides the cut, man. You got your head coach, and you got another coach that makes you comfortable, something you can warm up with.
Yep.
Somebody who knows you.
That's it. You know your game plan. Have some fan come, a little extra motivation. a little extra motivation when you look in that corner. This guy paid to have you fight.
He believes in you. He believes in you so much. He paid to be there.
When I used to fight, sometimes I would pick up extra back in the day, I'd fought in smaller promotions that these they would fly out one, maybe two corners, and I'd get there to have extra slot. I'd sometimes just have another guy fill in. I'm just motivate me. I know my game plan. My game plan is hit takedowns. You don't got to tell me anything. So game plan is always hit takedowns. Whether the guy's a wrestler, jiu-jitsu guy, it's always hit takedowns. So if I look tired, just pump me up. I don't need to. When he throws that 1-2, come back and throw that 3-2 hook, slide under. No. That we worked on that weeks ago. I got that muscle memory down. Just give me the Just give me the small pieces. Give me the motivation. I'm not looking.
Squid. Yes, he can. If he can't do it, no one can.
That's all I want. Because I would always be the heel, or like I would fight main events in other guys' towns. So I'm like, I just need someone rooting for me. So anybody rooting for me, because everyone's cursing me out, and because I would walk in like, "Fuck you, let's go Yankees." I'd go in like Boston and just like rile the whole crowd up. Come in, knock someone's beer out of their hand while I walk in. Be the heel while I walk in. I just want a motivational. I like that. Sell that slot.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, like, I've seen it
How
done
much can you
before,
sell that slot for though?
Easily 10 grand. Easily. You know?
That is, because the guy's gonna get some pictures. He's gonna touch the canvas and stuff.
Not only that, he's gonna be backstage with like everybody else. He's gonna have access that nobody has. He's gonna have the
then
thing.
You're just walking around with a fanboy.
Yeah.
Then you just walking around with a fanboy, just like
that's what it is.
Trying to act all cool, and you got this fanboy with you.
That's what it is.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Gotta give one back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this idiot paid 10 grand to hang out here, man. You know what I'm saying, man? This guy,
but that's easy. I mean, undercard guys could get 10 grand. I feel like undercard guys could get 10 grand for that.
Those guys should do that more than anything, because the main card guys, they got their cash. They're getting their cash. Extra 10 grand's always nice if it's an under the table deal.
Shoot.
If it's
I feel like main card guys, like a Mike Perry, I believe Mike Perry could get easily 50 for that. Easily.
Think somebody wants to hang out with Mike Perry that bad?
Yeah. How many people, like, think about this, man. How many people look up that? They wish they were that guy. The people wish they were Mike. They wish they were Poirier. They wish they were Hooker. They wish they were Mickey.
Get a tattoo on your face. Go do it.
Get Mike Perry's face tattooed on your face.
Go, yeah. Good luck. It's a good look. That was a decent fight. I was surprised in Perry's ground game.
I was impressed by it.
I was impressed, and I was a little shocked how the expressions on Mickey's face when he got to the ground, he didn't look as comfortable as I thought he'd be with Mike on top of him. I thought he looked a little shocked.
I wonder how that first round ending the way it did kind of played into Mickey's psyche. I want to talk to him about that, but I also it's one of those things to reflect. Like, I don't know if that's
2022, yeah.
But like when that round ends, and Mickey's towards the end of the round, Mickey's on bottom, Perry's on his back, and Mickey's trying to turn, but Perry's able to keep position and get to the mount. And when you feel like you go in, you're the better grappler. Everybody says that, you believe that, and then this transition happens and you're not winning it. So, like, how does that affect your psyche going into the next grappling scenario?
Yeah, I watching that fight. It Mickey played into exactly what he tried to make it a stand-up fight early. He was just standing with him. He was doing well. He was clipping him. He was landing strikes. But I'm like, you are the grappler. Make it. You gotta make it a grappling fight. Yep. You basically you turned it into you let your opponent dictate where the fight's gonna go. He chose when he wanted to make it go to the ground. Mickey didn't choose when he wanted to go to the ground. Mickey was trying to make it a stand-up fight. And then when that fight went to the ground, I thought Mickey would have, even when he was on his back, I thought he would like have a look in his eye. Ooh, great, we're on the ground. I can outdo this guy. He was looking around, looking at his corner. I was a little worried. I was like, I was surprised. I know Mickey has been working with a lot of kickboxers and stuff, and sometimes there's a part of the career where people get away from their bread and butter. What brought you to the dance, and you start to fall in love with the striking thing. And he was doing well, but I thought he could have really exposed him on the ground if he would have put some takedowns or gear. It seemed like he maybe didn't gear that training camp towards groundwork. Maybe it was a lot of striking.
Perry's takedown defense is pretty solid. Mickey has been working with a really good wrestler day in and day out, it seems. But Perry's takedown defense is is really solid, and not having those successes early, or those having the chain wrestling down, being confident in,
Yep.
okay, this fails, I have a couple different options to move to next, and this and that, and not having tested that, in live fire. I think that may have hurt him. There was a couple of times I felt like he touched the legs and then he pulled himself out.
Yep.
He didn't drive. He didn't look to finish. He didn't look to move to the next technique.
Yep.
And that has to do with confidence. That has to do with experience with the wrestling. The confidence could have faded a little because of Perry's takedown defense. He's got a high percentage of defending takedowns.
Yep.
And yeah, Mickey did need to get this fight to the ground in a dominant position. I think the fight could have, I can't say it would have been different, but I do believe it could have been very different should Mickey have gotten on top. But Perry's takedown defense and that confidence and that power, Mickey showed a lot. Like he can take a shot. Like Mickey can take one, like Perry puts people to sleep. But Mickey was able to survive. He got hit once behind the ear, one you can't brace for, you don't see. That put him down, but it didn't put him out. Like, I feel like Perry hitting most people like that, that's the beginning of the end.
Yep.
It's not the end itself. So Mickey showed a lot, and he's young. He's his second fight was in the UFC,
Yep.
So but I think this is a crossroads. This is a point where he can grow from this, and he needs to. He showed, when I say he showed a lot, he didn't break. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to change the game. Like, he was throwing up a lot of Hail Marys, but he wasn't like, I'm just going to give up and let it ride. He was trying, not with some of the techniques he attacked. He probably didn't have the confidence behind him that he would have or should have that he would if he was, more experienced.
Yep.
But he showed a lot, man. There's a lot to build on there, and I want to see him improve. I feel like he's the kind of person, he needs to have some mentorship, by example. Like, when he came out to Cali, when he was living with me, it was different because I wasn't competing anymore. So that drive to train and to be the best, it's not the same. He was working with Joe, and that's why his kickboxing and striking improved so much too. He saw that in Joe, and he spent a lot of time with him too. But I think like imagine that guy, like a guy like Mickey, just like following the footsteps of somebody like Dustin. He shows that he has the chin now, and he has the heart, but the grind, the grit, right? If he can get that grit in his game, like he's gonna be at the very least a Matt Brown caliber guy, And Matt Brown is like to say, like, if the bottom of the barrel is Matt Brown, that's fucking legit. Because like Matt Brown ain't nobody's clown, Like Dustin was like that from the go, and then he comes to ATT, and him and Robbie, like when I'm not there, him and Robbie are like super tight. Him and Robbie get super cool. Him and Masvidal are super tight. They work hard together, like you just having that old saying, iron sharpens iron.
It really does.
I feel like Mickey could really benefit from having that type of environment around him.
Yeah, that was tough. That was tough to watch. It was a good fight.
It's a good fight. I'm a fan of Mike Perry too, so it's one of those things where like it sucks because like I've only ever cared like Mike is a good friend of mine, but we're fighting at the same time. It's a different emotional feeling. I remember going to New Orleans for the UFC when Dustin fought Yancy Medeiros, and like I felt different. I feel like I watch fights. I feel good for my friends. I'm happy for them, but like for Dustin, it was almost like personal. It was almost like it was me in there. It was somewhere between me being in there and watching a friend. Those two are the extremes, and watching Dustin in that fight, it felt, and the same thing when we were in Atlanta, and when Mickey fought in Nebraska, when Mickey fought in Vegas, it's the same thing. When Mickey fights, when Dustin fights, those two guys, I feel something for them that I don't feel for, a lot of other guys. and I want to see him succeed. So I don't know, man. I do think that's like getting with somebody like Dustin would be good for him. But like I'm a fan of Mike Perry, so like I appreciate the fight. I wanted Mickey to win. I'm sad for him, but like I think there's a lot that you can work with, and I appreciate the effort. I think he's just kind of too young at that point. That's what I learned from that fight. He was too young for that fight in his fight career, not as a man or whatever, but in his fight career, there's some growth that needs to happen, and I think I see how he can do that.
Yep, and shout out to Mike Perry for realizing that put a guy on his back that wouldn't expect you to be. You don't expect the guy Mike Perry to try to put you on your back. That's like, it's nice to throw the fight on its head like that and switch it up.
But that's another thing too. Perry, man, he's
getting better too.
Evolving, exactly.
He's been in a lot of fights.
He wants to be good at this. Like he likes fighting, and he wants to be good at this. He doesn't come off as the most cerebral guy, but like that is not always the biggest portion of this. Like he could be his fighting. It's obviously obvious that he's intelligent, especially when it comes to fighting. He can make adjustments, he can make changes, he can beat some people at their own game. He doesn't portray that in his attitude, doesn't seem that way, but like those kinds of guys will fool you, man. And he likes fighting, and he likes violence, but he wants to be good at this. So like I expect a lot out of him too going forward. He finds himself a good team, or he puts himself in a situation where he can really improve. Like I would say like he's like one of those up and coming gatekeeper kind of guys. He's in that realm of the mixed martial arts world, but like he's getting better at this, and that dedication could change things for him too. He's a threat, man. He always has the power to be a threat.
He's sticking around. He's let's see, he's 7-6 now in the UFC.
Yeah, like look, there's some guys like that. Like look at Matt Brown's record after the Ultimate Fighter, up until Matt Brown became like the Matt Brown we recognize.
Yep. There's so many fighters that had careers like that, where they finally hit streaks. Yeah, I think Matt Brown was like 12-8 or 12-10 before he even got into the UFC, or something similar to that, where it was almost an even record.
Yeah,
I think he was 7-6. 7-6. But if you look at those, he had a win over Douglas Lima before he got in the UFC, and then went on a tear in 2012 and 2014, just messing people up. Was right on the cusp of a title shot. Till he fought Robbie Lawler. Yeah. Yep, he was right on the cusp. Then he fought Johnny Hendricks, Damian Maia, and then it was kind of murderer's row for him. But he had a nice little 7-fight win streak in the UFC. That'll set your retirement fund up nicely.
And like I would attest a lot of that to Matt Brown, to his work ethic, man. Like that dude just works hard all the time.
It's one of the biggest things in MMA. Work hard, cardio, determination, will. It's what it's really gonna come down to.
And that's
more. Sometimes not even about the skill.
That's what we saw we saw in that main event between Dustin and Dan Hooker. We saw that. We saw the who wants it more. We saw the drive, the determination, the work that they put in.
That last
skill set.
That fight, you saw Dustin wanted it more. That's why it was like back. It was very close. Then
I wouldn't say wanted it more. He just had more to give.
Yes. Yeah. Dan definitely wanted it.
Yeah. Like there was nobody who was going to break, but just like Dan had nothing left, and Dustin had a bit more to give.
Well, and Dustin's been like in a lot more of those fights.
Yeah.
He's won Dustin has won close fights. Dustin knows how to get his hand raised.
Yep.
He was very smart to realize if he ends up on top there looking like he wants to finish it, he's gonna win. He did the same with Max Holloway. That was a pretty close fight, but every one of those rounds he just pushed a little more. He knew what he had to do to like make the judges realize that he's the aggressor.
Going into that decision, I thought Dustin was going to win, but I mean, you never know with the judges. But when I heard 48-46 from the last judge, I was assured that it was because I was like, Dustin's the only one out of 10-8. He's the only one who had a 10-8.
Yep, that's when I knew the math was all right. He's good. He's good. I'm like, but they were close. It's like they both guys just swinging.
They both got beat up.
Both guys just throwing rockets.
Yeah,
just going after, which is got to be the best fight I've seen during quarantine.
Man, absolutely. I feel like I want to get a list of maybe like 5 fights, make my own like main card, and put like a bunch of fights together that of my friends, even of just my friends, like Robbie and Rory. That's a good. But then but that's the thing, like Robbie and Rory, Robbie and Condit, those 2 fights. Dustin and Gaethje, Dustin and Hooker.
Zhang Weilei and Joanna this year was another big one. Josh Emmett and Shane Burgos, another crazy fight.
I would have liked for that to be 5 rounds.
Yeah, that the Vicente Luque and Nico Price was wild too. Oh. Yeah, we've had
all those fights that you just mentioned were quarantine fights.
Those were all quarantine fights. Yep. Those are all extra $50,000 each fights, if not more. Those are all. Even Gaethje Ferguson was amazing too.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't as close as some of the other ones I named, but I thought Gaethje dominated that one.
I want to see Hooker versus Gaethje and Hooker versus Ferguson. I want to see Dustin versus Ferguson.
Dustin versus Ferguson is a good fight.
I don't want those dudes to like hang it up and for that to never happen, man.
Yeah,
this is a really good time for the lightweight division.
Yeah, like what happened with the rankings after this? Let's see. So after,
I feel like Hooker shouldn't move down. Like he should still be at 5.
Hooker stayed at 5. Everything stayed the same.
Yeah.
Nothing changed.
Where's Connor? 4, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Wait, who's at 6?
Felder. Even though he say retired.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And then I saw on the broadcast he said he would come out of retirement to fight one of these guys. It's like, why you these guys retiring and 6 weeks later saying that they're that someone will get them out of retirement? I was like, you're not really in retirement yet. 2 years maybe, but when it's only a few weeks after you just fought.
Yeah.
I'll come out of retirement for that. I'm like, retirement? You're not retired.
You retired after every fight?
Retired is like what my dad did. My dad bought a place in Florida. He did 30 years working as a plumber in New York City, and now he's chilling. That's retirement. What the hell are you talking? You're like 33 years old. You're not retired. People miss that term. It's like, I'm not fighting anymore. You're not retired. Yeah, I stopped fighting.
You're retired from fighting.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're not retired.
I get it. I get it on the couple of weeks. Like if Dustin or Hooker would have claimed retirement right now, it's like, yeah, that shit don't set in. It don't take for like
say it right away. Yeah.
Like
Hudo's back in 2 years, man.
Yeah.
He might be back in 2 years. Because inflation's a real thing. Money gets bigger. People still want the fights. Like GSP came back. He might still come back.
That
money gets people to come up and fight, man.
Yeah, but GSP came out of retirement.
He did because he actually stepped away. But he was like,
he's gone for like 4 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's legit
stuff. No, what Big Dad Raul doing in Florida? He's retired, man. He's chilling
in his velour tracksuit.
That's retirement. You guys don't know retirement, all right? It's like, yes, Not retired. You just pivoted. You're doing something else. You're gonna do something else. You're gonna open a gym, start a coffee company. I don't know, whatever these guys do. They always have something. They either open a gym or that's usually what they do. They usually open a gym.
Some guys, yeah.
You guys open a gym. Yeah, some guys try to start something.
Try to do something.
I don't know. We look at Dennis Bermudez joined a union. He's really working a real job. When in 20 years, when he finishes that job, then he's retired. He just stopped fighting.
Yeah,
Fighting. I'm like,
fighting is the most fun job ever.
Can't be the most fun. There's more fun jobs.
Being a porn star or something.
So one is getting hit and hitting someone. The other one's having sex. It's like
One's hitting it.
yeah, hitting it. Yeah. Or being a porn star. You couldn't think of any more fun job. I don't know, there could be.
But hold on. Imagine like going to a counselor or a psychologist or something because of like stress at work and find out you're a porn star.
So stressed. Girls is too hot. They're just too hot. They're just so
like it fucks my relationship, you know? It's like I've been pounding assholes all day. Like I can't.
And I get home, my wife wants to have sex. I'm like, I had sex all day. It's like if I'm an accountant, you want me to come home and I do taxes all day and come home and do your taxes? If I'm a chef, I cook all day, come home and cook for you? No.
My gynecologist comes home. Probably the last thing he wants to see when he gets home.
Yeah, gross. Honey. All right, just get on the stirrups. Let's go. Right. Let's get after it. Babe. All right, so that was pretty much. There was a couple other cool fights. Nothing.
I didn't really watch the undercard.
It's fine.
What is this young lady who I don't remember her name. Kaylin.
Kay.
I just heard of her through this event. You know.
Hansen.
Kay Hansen, yeah. So I saw a post. Somebody reposted. She met the guy who bet $37,000 on her.
Yeah, the guy that had a Louis Vuitton hat on, Louis Vuitton pants, like Louis Vuitton shoes. We get it. You got money.
I didn't see that.
Get it.
I saw the picture, but I didn't realize. I don't even recognize brands though. That's my fault. I'm from a place where people like brands, but I just
saw people calling it out because of the picture. Like he had he was holding like a bag too.
That's a bad bet. I mean, he bet 37,000 to win 20.
On not much of it, not a total short thing. That's a tough bet to make right there to bet 37 grand. She probably didn't make 37 grand for the fight. Girl's first fight in the UFC. First fight in the UFC.
But she's a prospect, so maybe she got something.
Yeah, I'm looking at who she fought. It's like she came in with a 6-3 record. It's like it's kind of a tough one to bet $37,000 on.
Oh wait, Kay's record was 6-3 going in.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that. I thought
Kay was 6-3. Was riding a 2-fight win streak, coming off.
What is that? 115, 125.
She fights at 115.
Okay.
20 years old is like to put that money on such a coin flip. That's a coin flip right there.
You won $1,000 for every year she's been around on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a bet I would make. Like I had a friend bet on was it Shogun and Forrest? Yeah, I think he bet on Shogun. And I'm like, why would you bet on Shogun? Like he was the favorite anyway. You know, like you don't bet on favorites. That's not how betting like that just I don't bet. I don't gamble, but like that just doesn't seem like it makes sense. Why would you bet? Like why would I put $100 down to win 10? Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I risk losing 100.
too much of a
Like,
risk.
if I'm holding a bunch of balloons, helium-filled balloons, and you give me a helium-filled balloon, and it starts to get away from me, I'm not gonna let this one go to grab that. Let this handful go to grab that. That doesn't make sense. That's what it seems like to me. Unless I don't like balloons.
It's a good old helium balloon analogy.
Oh, I'm not. That's not original. I didn't. I was trying hard.
Classic. I've never heard it. Then coming up, I guess we got a Fight Island in about 12 days from right
Yeah.
now.
2 weeks. I like the Burns Usman fight. It's just interesting to see. I honestly I wish that would have been at the Apex, just because they train like that all the time. They've competed against each other in that environment so often. You know what?
Burns' ear is disgusting. Like he needs reconstructive surgery on his ear, man. That's a post-fight career move right there.
Man, so many people though, they have that. Like,
yeah, but his is kind of wild. I'm looking at this poster.
Shoot, have you seen Chandler's?
Yeah, his is pretty bad too.
I got cauliflower 2 occasions. I drain that shit instantly. I have a little bit. Like, you have to look hard to notice mine, but
yeah, same. Mine, you can see it, but like, yeah, it's kind of under there.
I can feel it. I have to like squeeze. I have to show when someone asks me.
You can see if you look at it, like one looks super distorted compared to the other, but yeah, this Fight Island card's pretty good. Got 3 title fights. We'll do a full breakdown when we get closer. But yeah, I love the Kamaru Usman, Gilbert Burns, Volkanovski, Holloway, Yan Aldo. Who's not.
What adjustments you think Max? Well, we'll talk about that. I was like Max has got to make some adjustments.
Yeah. And then the return of Rose Namajunas, Paige Van Zant's on the card. Prelims are good. You got Ozdemir ending the prelims. You got number 7 ranked guy right there ending the prelims. And then a bunch of kind of unknowns. It's going to be that's the last pretty much top 10 ranked guy you'll see on the undercard. But the full main card is nothing but ranked people except for Paige Van Zant. So
Paige Van Zant is not ranked.
She is
When was
not.
the last time she fought?
It's been a while. Yeah, she. I want to say, was it the Watterson fight? Oh no, she. No, she fought in January 2019. Oh yeah, when she got the armbar over Rachel Ostovich.
Okay, I do remember
that. That was the last time that we saw her.
A long time out.
Yeah, 18 months.
Without injury, especially. Just to be out.
Yep, I think. Did she? I know she got married, but let's see.
I don't think she had a baby.
I don't think so.
But
yeah, and that's kind of a slow, obviously a slow fight world right now based on quarantine. Titan FC did a fight card as well.
No, we should do. Let's try and get Dustin and or Dan on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Second episode this week.
See if we can get them on Thursday. Yeah, kind of a stagnant. Will be pretty still for the next 12 days or so. But it'd be nice to talk with Dustin or Dan about their fight of the year candidate right there so far. Probably the leader.
That was such
out of the Weili Zhang fight just because of Joanna's head.
He did look like Brainiac.
Scary.
That I can't get over how good that fight was. You know what that fight was? Have you seen Trinidad Vargas?
Mm-hmm.
That was like that for me. Like Trinidad Vargas is my boxing fight for me to go back and like I used to watch that fight before fights just to get pumped up.
That'll get you pumped up. You want to see people hit each other? That's a good one.
That, yeah. So this fight was the MMA equivalent of that for me. I feel like Robbie and Rory, those fights were good. I really enjoyed them. But this, I don't know if it's only because it's fresher, but I just feel like this fight is probably my favorite fight of all time that I've seen, that I've watched in MMA.
It's up there. I think my favorite.
I'm a fan. Like, those are my two favorite lightweights. Like, Dustin and me, we go back. And Hooker, I really appreciate. I became a Hooker fan like around the Ross Pearson fight.
I really like the that Adesanya fight that we were at.
Oh, and got Gastelum.
That was a really good one.
That was good.
I think my favorite fight. It's probably something from the 90s or early 2000s for me.
My favorite fight used to be Pele and Macaco.
I used to train with Macaco. That's strong. That's a good fight. Didn't they fought twice, right?
Yep.
They fought like back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Pele Landis.
Good fights. Good
If
fight.
you guys at home, check that one out. I'm pretty sure you can watch that on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Good old young Macaco.
Posted in the bio after we put this up.
Sure, right here. We got 1.5 million views. A nice war.
And 0.5 million of those are me.
The good war. Macaco's still fighting too.
Yeah, he's also coaching Oliveira. At least he was. I don't know.
Got to be almost 50 years old.
Yeah, probably
47. Yep.
Shoot. That's old for somebody who's not a heavyweight. Still be doing it. But
that's the show. Kind of a shortish. If we'll get a guest on, that's where we really get going. Get a guest on later this week.
Do that for Thursday. We'll get somebody good. We'll have some fun.
See if we can get either Dustin, Hooker, Burns, someone on the maybe upcoming card. Hear what their training is like during this time and how they feel about the travel to Abu Dhabi.
Word to your mother.
That's our show. We'll catch you later.
Thugjitsu Master and Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
Thugjitsu Master and the Squid.
I'll let you see my hair one day. Bro is out.